What's going on, guys? This is Mr. DeLorrian here, brand new video. Welcome to my episode 9 of season 5 Fear the Walking Dead breakdown review. So this episode really only has one plot point, so it won't be like too difficult or too, really complex to really break down. Let's hop right into the breakdown first, and I'll hop right into the review. So the episode begins with everyone saying like a kind of like very vague backstory to themselves. Morgan talks about mainly his wife and son, and everyone else, including Al, Luciana, Daniel, Alicia, John, June, Grace, Charlie, and Dwight, and I think some of like the truck people also. They'll kind of talk about why they want to save people or anything, like how they think it can like redeem them and everything, and all that other type of stuff. Then Morgan kind of mentions people that like saw the plane or anything, like people that they want to help that are around the area. And we get to kind of like a bit of like a montage or whatever of like people contacting them over like radios or anything, like tons of different people going, oh, is that your plane or whatever? Oh, we saw your plane. Oh, can you help me or anything? And there's like kind of like some like b-roll footage. Like this is entire episode's filmed on basically Al's camera or anything. It's not like actual like professional like film cameras or whatever, like how you're used to on like every Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead episode. So there's some b-roll of all of them working together, driving all the convoys, kind of, like going to save people and all that other type of stuff. There's some footage of the like kind of like truck people and everything. I think Sarah and Will, their names are. I just haven't been using their names like lately. They're kind of talking, which is kind of funny and everything, because like there's some footage of them, like kind of funny footage or anything of them trying to like go get stuff for like people and everything, finding like trucks or anything, leaving like stuff on the road for some people and anything, obviously to help them. And this is just like kind of really funny part where Logan gets left behind by like the truck people and everything. He's like running out to the truck. He's like yelling stop and everything, because obviously like they're leaving him behind and everything because of all the shit he put them through and everything. It's actually kind of sad actually, because he's being left behind, but at the same time it's kind of funny because he's an asshole. Then we kind of hop over to Strand, Alicia, and Charlie, who are clearing roads basically and everything to make sure like there's safe places to get through like the area. Then we see Morgan helping like Alicia learn like his kind of like stick kung fu and everything, which is kind of like funny and everything, because Alicia sees the camera rolling and basically like kind of walks away. Then we get a shot of the new campgrounds and everything, which like there's tons of like areas and everything. It's like a really wide open field, but it doesn't really look too secure from herds, and it's it's all right, but it doesn't look too secure. Then we get some shots around the camp showing some like new people and everything that they found, some stuff that they're doing in the camp, and some other shots with Grace and June, who are basically in charge of the camp at the moment while everyone's kind of out doing stuff. But after a few minutes, they find a house with a woman and her son and her husband in it, but the husband's like out on a run trying to get the son inhaler and everything, because I guess the son has like bad asthma. They talk to her for a little bit, and when a walker crosses over the fence and everything, like kind of like gets past like the lady's fence, I think, because Morgan, John, and like some people on the other side. Once a walker crosses into like her fences and everything, it trips, falls, and it explodes because there's a fucking minefield of like the whole minefield of landmines all around the woman's house. So pretty much if you cross her fences, you're getting blown the fuck up. Then we get back to like Sarah and Wendell and everything, Daniel, Dwight, and Charlie on the road, but Sarah's kind of like blasting her music. I think that's the trucker lady. She's blasting her music, and there's this like really funny scene where Dwight, Daniel, and like Charlie are explaining like, oh, this is their music or anything, and Daniel going, it's not music, and like Dwight going, oh, this is all they listen to. Then we go back to Morgan and the rest talking to Tessa, and then the girl inside the house's name, and she says her husband is out and everything, and set landmines everywhere and everything, make sure that like his family was safe and everything. But obviously they need to keep the walkers away from the house and everything, because we get landmines near the house or anything. So John kind of starts like picking off the walkers one by one with his like sick revolver. And then Tess, I guess, kind of like looked outside. We don't know what she looks like yet or anything, but she kind of looks outside and everything and sees cameras, and she's like, why is there cameras outside and everything? And they're kind of like, oh, this is to show people what we do and everything. But I thought it was kind of funny because also that she probably thinks there's like a fucked up reality TV show out in like zombie apocalypse. Then they try to get Tess and her son to come out and everything, but obviously they refuse, saying we're not going and everything. We have left the house since the apocalypse started, and we're waiting for like she's waiting for like her husband to get back and everything, because he obviously keeps them like safe or whatever. Then June and Alicia and everything are at a drugstore and everything, raiding it, getting all like the medicine they can find, and trying to find the kid's inhaler, because obviously John radioed them saying we need the inhaler, you guys need to go find the father. But obviously when they go in, they find only a couple of drugs, no inhaler, and not the father at all. Back at the house, more and more walkers start to come, and Morgan and Al try to run to kill them, because obviously they're like all gathering around like the fence and things, because obviously it's being attracted by like all the explosions and gunshots. They get to the fence and everything, but it's way too late, and the walkers fall with the fence, and a mine goes off, sending Al and Morgan flying and everything. June and Alicia, June and like Alicia and everything arrive to like help them and everything with some guns, some more ammo and everything. But in kind of a flashback and everything, we see Alicia and Strand found a tree with writing all over it, but a walker comes up behind them and they kill it, but it was Tessa's husband actually that was the walker with the inhaler in his backpack backpack and everything. But let's kind of talk about the tree and everything. It's actually was really cool because it had like tons of writing on and everything, like tons of like different designs and everything. And Alicia kind of mentions her mom, obviously Madison. So Morgan really doesn't want like, you know, Tess and her like son or anything to die from the mine. So he ends up going and running into like the minefield and trying to run to the house and everything, get to it like to help them and everything. But everyone, while everyone's screaming at him, don't like doing anything, he's running and he ends up stepping on a mine that basically is pushed down. But if he lifts his foot, it's going to explode. So he's basically standing still. Al tells him to stop and he doesn't move because there's a mine under his fucking foot. The rest of the group arrives but realizes what happens to Morgan. Morgan calls Tess to come out, but she won't. So she basically reveals to Tess and everything that, you know, her husband died. She kind of really denies it and cries, saying that Walker was not my husband, and basically stops like talking on the walkie-talkie. Al tries to help Morgan disarm the mine with some kind of funny moments or anything until Tess comes out, revealing what she looks like and offers to help since she knows how to disarm them since her husband set him up in the first place. They disarm it, the boy gets his inhaler, and everyone's back to base. So night kind of rolls around and everything, and there's a big barbecue happening at like, you know, the base and everything. Everyone's kind of relaxing, talking, hugging, meeting each other, I think, because there's new members of like, you know, the group. We get an interview of Tess and her son. Basically we find out a little bit of backstory to them and everything, and you know, like all like the stuff about the son, how the husband sacrificed and everything, knowing that there would be help and everything, and yep, there are help on the way. Then Daniel, the truck people, and Strand Charlie returns to the rest of the barbecue and everything to enjoy the rest of like the barbecue and everything because they're all back and everything. Like now everyone's together. We get like tons of more funny moments like between like characters or anything, and I don't know why, but there's kind of like this funny segment where they're basically all saying like, oh, we can help you and everything, basically because on the tape or anything. I guess they're gonna leave the tape behind. And they basically start going, we can help you. We promise we can help you. If you're out there or anything, we can help you. It's kind of funny because it's kind of like I guess you could say like a car ad. Then we kind of back away from a TV that's static because like the tape finished and everything. Basically this whole episode was a tape that someone was watching that like, you know, Al and all of them made it or anything, and someone that we've never seen before is watching it, and now we go back into the normal episode format of like a normal Walking Dead episode. And for honestly a second I thought it was Heath that was, you know, like the person watching the film because of the dreads and everything, and Heath had like dreads, and I think he's like almost, besides like honestly Michonne, the only character on the show that has dreads. He starts searching the place and he watched the tape and everything to find some supplies until he hears cars coming from the outside. Turns out it's Logan and his group, and Logan is not happy about being left behind by, you know, the truck people. It also turns out Logan's not happy with the fellow because the guy took Logan's gas for his motorcycle. Logan's group takes like, you know, the guy's gas stuff and takes his motorcycle tires out and everything, the guy and everything. Logan mentions the group, Morgan and like the rest and everything, says they're making more enemies than friends, and mentions they have a whole arsenal of weapons with tons and tons of ammo. They leave the guy there with a walkie-talkie and he's about to call like, you know, Morgan and the group and everything because he's never met them before, but Logan tells them to do anything so he can be helped, and the episode ends there. So once I had the review, this episode was probably actually honestly the best. I know I say a lot of anything, but it was a really good episode and everything with tons of funny moments. I loved, you know, kind of the segment of, you know, kind of them like, you know, going through the minefield. I love that whole segment. The rest of the episode is more of so kind of, I guess, backstory. I think it was all funny and everything, especially with Logan being left behind. But this was like a really funny episode in my opinion. It was really good with lots of good new characters. I loved like everything, how all of them together finally and everything after like the whole like first half of season 5 not being together at all. Okay, so this is while I'm editing this video and everything, but there are two things about this episode that I actually didn't like, mainly like the one small thing and everything, like a really like not that big of a deal, but I kind of found it a bit weird, and the other is kind of actually a big issue. So I'll go over the first like small issue first and everything, and then we'll kind of like hop right into like, you know, the big issue. So the small issue is basically like kind of like the change and, you know, in I guess you could say how the cameras went from blue tint to kind of like old camera like tint and everything. And the big issue is kind of Alicia's or anything kind of hop right into Morgan's like kind of, I guess you could say, season 7 like phase. How she's like kind of like, you know, petrified, doesn't want to kill any walkers, doesn't want to kill any people. And it's just kind of weird because it completely changed her character from kind of like, oh, this, you know, kind of really interesting, strong person, and it kind of changed her into a bit of like I guess you could say like kind of a weak, non-interesting character. I'll give them a chance to see where they go with it and everything, but they have, I honestly like next episodes to prove to me that this like, you know, character like development or this like new character arc and I think could actually go somewhere. Also, one last thing and everything, I really did like the format of this episode. That was really unique and everything for like the Walking Dead to do kind of, I guess you could say, a found footage type episode and everything. I really liked it and everything. Tons of funny moments between characters and everything, reunitions and like all that other type of stuff and everything, and yep, that was the episode. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did, make sure to give a big fat thumbs up and subscribe. Make sure to leave your thoughts down below on the episode, my opinion. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace, amigos, and peace out.